Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to be putting a new fuel door in a 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is right there. What happens is on some of these doors, the fuel door becomes wobbly because this hinge pin pops out the bottom. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. This is what that looks like when that happens. So you can see the door is all wobbly. And what can happen is this latch mechanism can fail to open the door under certain circumstances. We're going to pop this whole door assembly out and replace it. Now you don't necessarily have to replace it, because what you could also do, again, this is the new door, you could take the whole thing out and just pop this back in right there, just jiggle it, and I'll show you how to do that too. And then perhaps put a cross piece in there to prevent that from happening again. I'm choosing to replace the door because the door, as you saw, is pretty nasty looking. It's not that expensive a part. I think it's maybe $50 or so. And according to the part number, which is right here, you can see that the suffix in the part is AM, which means that Chrysler has modified this M as in Mary number of times. So clearly they've had some problems with this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and change it, and we'll look and see what the difference is between the new one and the old one, and see if there's any noticeable difference. So to do this job, you're going to need actually not a lot of tools. You're going to need really just some trim sticks. I like to use these OTC trim sticks, 6642, link in the description. If I can find this part on Amazon or somewhere else, I'll link you guys that one too. Might also need some soapy water just to get this rubber gasket here around the fuel filler neck. Sometimes that can stick and be a little difficult to remove, but you see how much more rigid this door is. I'm moving it. Its whole housing's moving, which is what it should do. First thing you want to do is take off this outer painted trim. And to do that, you just pop a screwdriver under here. That should just slide right off like that. Nice and easy. Okay, next we're going to put some water just along this filler neck, little soapy water, just to lubricate it a bit, as I mentioned. I'm going to use a mixture of Dawn dish soap and some water. Hopefully that should do the trick. If not, we'll get something a little bit stickier. So I'm just going to give it a little spritz, trying to get it inside the fuel tank, or the filler neck rather, something like that. All right, now if you don't have plastic trim sticks, you're probably going to want to put some blue tape along the top and bottom of the filler neck, because you don't want to scratch the paint. And to get the filler neck off, you have to pop out a couple of tabs here. I'll show you what they look like. So this is what they look like on the new fuel tank cover right here and right here. You just got to push down on them. So I'm going to try that with the trim stick, see how that goes. I've not done this before, so forgive me if this is not the right way to do it. It looks like you have a plastic seal here that you have to get behind. Okay, so we're behind. Let's see what other trim sticks I have. I got this pointy thing. Okay, I see one of them right down in here. Hopefully give you guys a little bit of a better view. Let me go at it from the bottom now, because there's two more on the bottom. That's another reason why I bought a new door, in case I mess this one up. Don't have to worry about that. So now I'm just working under the seal from the bottom now. lot trickier than it looks. I wonder if it's the seal. Working it around with a screwdriver. I wonder if maybe this latch mechanism over here is in the way. Let's try taking that out. It looks like there's just a couple of plastic clips in the top. Try to wedge those. They look really thin. I'll try to wedge those out and try not to break them. Fantastic. Yep, broke both of them. Man, they are fragile. Hopefully they're kind of optional. Yeah, this may have been holding the door on. Yeah, that was definitely the problem. So let's see if we can, all right, so we got an electrical connector here, and this is probably like the emergency release cable. So let's see if we can just shove this in the fender. Or quarter panel, whatever this thing's called. Get that out of the way. Oh, there we go, look at that. Door popped right out. So you can see a big gap opened up here now. So now we're a lot looser than we were. I think all the clips are disengaged. So now we probably have to work around this seal, I'm guessing. Okay, past the lip. Let's see if there's anything else down there that might be holding it. Can't really see. Beautiful day out today. Something's still hanging it up. It's not this seal. Shot a little bit more juice down in there. Everything's nice and free. It feels like there might be something on this left side. Kind of hard to tell though. Doesn't really feel like there's anything holding it. Feels so close. I think it's just sticking on this side here on the left. Maybe try something that's stronger than soap and water when you're doing this. There we go. Got it. So here's the old one, and you can see the spring just fell off, but you can see that pin isn't sticking through. Let's take it in the garage and take a peek at it. Now, if you weren't going to replace your door, what you need to do is flip this thing over. You're going to have to kind of finagle this until you can push that pin back through that hole there. Hit it with a little bit of soap and water. Let's see if that helps. Let's try this. Just pushing down. There we go. So that's how it should look. Notice it's no longer flopping in the breeze. Now this one is part number AH. So let's look at both side by side. Let me clean this one up look at them both side by side and see what the differences are, if any. Okay, got the new and old parts here. This is the new one on the left. This is the old one on the right. And again, this one ends in AH. You guys can see that right there. My thumb is. This one ends in AM, also about where my thumb is. So let's just take a quick visual look. I don't see too many differences off the bat. It looks like the clip design up here on the newer one's a little bit different. So notice this one doesn't have that indentation, but this one does. Let's flip them over and look at the bottom. Again, just different clip design. This part looks pretty much identical here. Which is kind of unfortunate. Looks pretty much the same on the back. Did notice that I didn't have a hose attached to this little drain. This vehicle has been worked on by the dealer before. I believe they replaced the fuel filler neck at one point, and maybe they lost that tubing. I don't really know. How does the inside look? Any different? Not really. I mean, the sticker here is a little bit different. I don't know if that's by design. Not too many differences, folks. Now, one thing I suppose you could do if you want to prevent this problem from happening again, I wonder if you could drill through this pin sideways. It'd be kind of tough, but if you drill through it sideways, and then you like put like a, I don't know, like maybe just even a paper clip through it to keep it from popping out. Something like that work? Yeah, unfortunately my smallest drill bit is probably too big to cross drill that. I'd be afraid I'd be weakening it too much. It'd be nice if this whole thing was the same diameter all the way up, but you see how it necks down there? That kind of limits some of our options. You might be able to put like a push pin or something over it. But I got a new door, so I'm just going to use that. So let me get something a little bit better to lubricate this, because that soapy water did an okay job at best. Got things pretty nicely cleaned up. I might have to compound the back of this. It's a lot better than it was, but not perfect. Thought about giving some unnamed personal lubricant a try, not a sponsor, to see if that works better here, to hold this, to lube this, this seal here. So let me get it coated up. All right, I lubed up the fuel filler neck and this rubber gasket. Let's slide this thing in there. I guess it has to go in like that, right? Doesn't want to go in. Let's try that again. So I got this thing shoved all the way over here. There we go. Made things a little bit easier. Now we got to fish out our locking mechanism. So far, fishing this thing back out has been by far the worst part of the job. It's tough to find. You might want to tie a hook or something onto it once you get it part of the way out, just so you don't lose it again. It's happened to me a few times. And there we go. So now you just gotta rotate this thing into place like so, and snap it back in. And I don't think that broken tab's gonna be any problem. Just make sure this thing is seated in there securely. Let's give it a test. Let's pull the button, press the button. All fixed. All right, final step is to put the cover back on. This should just slide right on. Just like so. But not quite. Let's try that again. There we go. Looks perfect. All right, so hopefully that helped you guys out. Pretty straightforward repair, as you saw, just kind of difficult to get into that area, especially to get the fuel filler neck around this rubber gasket here. So make sure you use that not to be named personal lubricant. It helps a lot. Give that a shot. All right, and there. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe, stay safe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.